You're just an object now, something I've claimed.
Yes, madam. Thank you.
I get paid to fake date people. Cry on cue, laugh on cue, hold someone's hand at a work dinner. Elliot called me into his office before my shift.
Got something special. New client. Codename 07. One night. Paid in advance.
What's his deal?
5 times your usual rate.
My hand stopped halfway to my mouth. He slid a printed order across the desk. I read the special notes section and my stomach dropped. Emotion dom service? Light restraint. Elliot, I don't do that.
You don't have to know how. He'll guide you. Just stay cold, stay in control.
Then he put a check on the desk. I thought about my 3-digit bank balance, my landlord's texts, my student loans. I signed without meeting Elliot's eyes. He handed me a hard-shell case and told me the client had sent everything needed. I gripped the handle and started walking toward VIP room 7. The case rattled softly with each step, metal shifting inside. I told myself I was still in control. I opened the door expecting a predator. I found a man in a pressed reference outfit. The lighting was warm. He stood when I entered like I was a guest.
Hi, Lena. You can call me Cass.
He extended his hand. I shook it before I remembered I wasn't supposed to. I set the case on the coffee table and opened it. Leather cuffs, a metal collar, a narrow strap, devices I couldn't name.
I know you haven't done this before. Elliot told me.
Then why book me?
Because I don't need a professional. I need someone willing to learn.
He moved to the center of the room. Then he sank to one knee, both hands stretched open in front of him, and looked up at me.
Follow your instincts. If I do something wrong, punish me. If you don't know what to do, I'll guide you.
Tonight, I'm yours, madam.
The word moved through me like a current. I stood there, staring down at a wealthy, composite man who had just put himself completely at my mercy. I told him to put on the cuffs. He extended his wrists without a single question. I fumbled with the buckles, hands and knees. He immediately knelt before me, like he had done this 1,000 times. I strapped him to the leather chair, then found the small remote and the curved device at the bottom of the case. He told me it went against the back of his neck. I positioned it carefully. Then I found the folded paper. What's this?
A contract I wrote, madam. I'd like you to make me read it aloud.
I unfolded it. Handwritten, formal. A promise to obey, to not contact me outside sessions, to submit completely. Read it.
I, Cassian.
I pressed the button. His voice broke. Start over. It took him 6 attempts. By the end, his voice was hoarse-key and his knuckles were white against the armrests. But he finished. Good. The word came out without effort. When the session ended, he dressed quietly, professional, efficient. Then he pulled out his phone.
I'd like to book you for the next month, every Monday.
I watched him select week after week on the screen. The total appeared. My eyes went wide. My phone buzzed before he even confirmed it. A payment notification. Anonymous account. The memo read, "For my madam's coffee fund." More than I made in 3 months.
I'll be back next Monday, right here at your feet, madam.
He gave a small, formal bow. No hug, no contact, then stepped into the hallway. The door clicked shut. Through the small window, I watched him walk away. And then his face just went. I stood there holding my phone, the payment notification glowing. 2 weeks later, Elliot offered me triple pay to do the session at Cass's apartment. Hillside Towers, 38th floor. The elevator opened directly into his apartment. No hallway, no neighbors, just us. The place was exactly what I expected. Marble, abstract art, expensive silence.
The playroom is this way.
That's when I smelled it. Something damp and chemical. Bleach mixed with something underneath it that bleach couldn't cover. It was coming from a closed door halfway down the hall. The hardwood around it was darker, like it had been wet and dried over and over. What's in there?
Storage room, plumbing issues, still getting it fixed.
I followed him toward the kitchen to get water, and that's when I saw it. A temporary plastic drainage pipe extending from the wall, new silicone seals, a metal grate in the floor that had been scrubbed so clean it looked raw. The area around it was bone dry, too dry, like someone had cleaned it repeatedly and recently. You weren't kidding about the plumbing.
Old building. Shall we begin?
I followed him into the playroom and let him close the door behind us. He hung blindfolded and deaf in the center of the room, and I was the only thing connecting him to the world. He couldn't see me, couldn't hear anything but my voice. Tell me what you are.
Yours, madam. Completely yours.
I spent 2 hours learning exactly how far that submission went. I asked him to stick out his tongue, so I kissed it gently once, then let go, but he still wanted more. I slowly slid ice cubes along his chest. His breathing became more levered, and his chest moved noticeably upward and downward. Then I placed his hand on my chest and instructed him to move it slowly beneath my underwear. Once it reached that area, I immersed myself completely. Finally, I licked his cheek with my tongue, then slowly inserted it into his mouth for a passionate kiss. Every command followed instantly. Every position held until I said move. When I finally released him, his hands were shaking, but his smile was blissful.
That was perfect.
I took a cab back to campus, feeling like I owned something. Nova was on her bed, surrounded with anatomy textbooks when I got in. She glanced up as I shook out my hair, then wrinkled her nose and leaned forward. "Did you work in a basement?" "No. Why?" "You smell like the morgue, specifically the drainage area under the autopsy tables. Industrial disinfectant mixed with something organic that never quite goes away." My blood went cold. That was exactly what I had smelled in his hallway. Nova had clinical rotations. She worked in those rooms. She knew that smell the way I knew nothing. My phone started buzzing before I finished brushing my teeth, and it did not stop. Questions about my schedule, my classes, whether I was eating enough. 12 messages by lunch. This was a booking confirmation number. He had never used it like this. I kept my replies short, polite, professional. Then, Wednesday morning, a bank notification woke me up. $2,800, memo, for my madam's exclusive time. My phone rang immediately.
Did you get it?
What is this?
I don't want you taking other sessions. Not while we're exploring this together. I can cover everything. Your rent, your loans. Just focus on us.
There is no us. This is work. Silence. Long enough that I thought he'd hung up.
Of course. Cass, you're right. I'm sorry.
After I hung up, I tried to send the money back. Gift payment. No return option. I sat on my bed and stared at the screen. The balance was higher than it had ever been. His name was attached to every dollar of it. I walked out of the psychology building and saw him. Black sedan, deep red roses, 20 phones already up. Cass spotted me and started walking over.
Lena. Madam.
Then quieter, just for me. Ice went through my veins. He held up his phone so anyone close enough could see the screen, a booking system, my name under tonight's appointments, and swiped to cancel it.
I'd rather spend the evening with you directly.
Go with him! When's the last time someone brought you flowers? The crowd was growing. The livestream girl was practically bouncing. I ran the math in 3 seconds. Refuse, expose my job, make a scene on camera, provoke a man I already suspect is dangerous. Comply, buy time. That's sweet of you. Professional preparation. The crowd cheered as he opened the car door. I slipped into the passenger seat. The moment his door closed, I had one hand inside my jacket pocket and 60 seconds before he looked over. I pulled up Nova's wrist thread and typed fast. The hallway photo from last time, live location, active. Then, if I don't turn this off by 10 p.m., call me. If I don't answer, call police. I hit send as Cass adjusted his mirrors. Nova's reply came back in 8 seconds. A skull emoji. She understood. I pocketed the phone and turned to face him.
I need to apologize for this week. The messages, the money transfer. I came on too strong.
I have attachment issues. Childhood stuff. When someone matters to me, I get scared they'll disappear without warning. My therapist says it comes from being abandoned as a kid.
I watched his hands tighten on the steering wheel. You can't contact me outside of sessions. That's not negotiable.
Of course. I just need to know you won't vanish completely. You can punish me for overstepping. Please, just don't disappear.
Something desperate in his voice. We pulled into the Hillside Towers parking garage. I stepped out of the car and smelled it before the elevator doors even opened. The smell hit me before my foot touched the floor. Stronger than last time. Much stronger. I kept my face neutral and walked in like I noticed nothing.
Tonight is different. No session. No roles.
Tonight, I want us to understand what we actually are to each other.
My spine went rigid. He didn't turn toward the living room. He walked straight to the storage room door. Concrete walls, metal hooks embedded in rounds, a drainage grid centered in the floor. Surgical lighting blazed on from the ceiling the moment he stepped inside, so bright it wiped out every shadow.
We don't need to pretend anymore, Lena.
The metal was cold. The lock clicked shut.
Now you're mine.
I reached up. He caught my wrist. He tilted his head and smiled. He pulled restraints from the ceiling mount and fastened them around my wrists before I could twist away. Hold them high. I was up on my toes, arms stretched above me, weight hanging from my shoulders. He selected a tool from the tray. Heavy.
There. Now you understand this is real.
He moved to the instrument tray, selecting a narrow blade. He held it to the light, turning it slowly.
The other girls I worked with before, they never understood the artistry. They just fought the whole time. But you're different. You understand patience.
A faint ding. Somewhere beyond the concrete walls, the elevator. I held my breath and listened past my own heartbeat, counting seconds, trying to hear footsteps or voices. Cass heard it too. He set the knife down on the metal tray with deliberate care, blade still wet, and straightened up.
Looks like we'll have an audience tonight. Don't worry. I always start with the face work alone.
I strained against the ceiling chains, trying to angle toward the door. I didn't know if whoever just stepped off that elevator was coming to help me or coming to watch. 10:47 p.m. The location dot was still there. It should have gone dark 47 minutes ago. I called, straight to voicemail. I called again. Same. The night officer at Campus Security told me to wait for morning. I didn't wait. Detective Rowan had tired eyes and a half-empty coffee cup. He listened without interrupting while I laid it out. The smell I had identified on her clothes 6 weeks ago.
Industrial disinfectant mixed with biological drainage. I do clinical rotations. I know what that smell means. It means something organic has been processed in that space repeatedly.
Rowan set down his coffee.
Hillside Towers, apartment 3801, Cassian Mueller.
He was already reaching for his radio.
Dispatch, 3 units to Hillside Towers, apartment 3801, suspect, Cassian Mueller.
I watched him call for 3 units and grab his jacket. Cass's composure cracked. I watched his face change, calm dissolving into something desperate and ugly.
They want to take you away from me.
His voice was tight, shaking.
But you're mine now. You understand? Forever. There is no version of this where you leave.
The knife came up. I turned my head as far as the collar allowed. Not far enough. To the beep of hospital machines.
The knife slipped when we breached. It cut you, but missed everything important. You're safe.
Cass was alive, shot in the shoulder during the breach, in custody at the county medical facility. I cried until my neck stitches pulled. 2 weeks later, I was at Nova's parents' kitchen table when Rowan came back. He set a manly folder on the table and did not open it.
We found them, behind the storage room wall. The drainage system he'd installed led to a hidden space.
I looked at the folder. Thick. Years of documentation.
4 that we've identified so far. All women. All between 20 and 30.
Rowan asked if I would testify. I nodded without hesitating. Those 4 women deserved someone who could speak. 6 months after the hospital, I still flinched at the sound of keys turning in locks. The smell of sent me to my knees in the grocery store. I dropped out of school. I moved into Nova's parents' house. I started seeing Dr. Chen twice a week in an office with floor-to-ceiling windows and fresh flowers on the desk. Nothing clinical. Nothing that reminded me of surgical lighting. The trial ended. Cass was convicted. The police returned my personal effects in a brown envelope. The collar was inside, wrapped in an evidence bag. I put it in a cardboard box with tissue paper and carried it to Dr. Chan's office like it might detonate. I set it on her desk and unwrapped it. The padlock was still attached, still closed. I want you to keep this. I'm not ready to throw it away, but I can't have it in my house.
What does it represent for you?
And proof I'm not that person anymore. The one who needed money badly enough to ignore everything that was wrong. Dr. Chen placed it in her desk drawer without ceremony. I registered for my final semester that afternoon.